Welcome to another episode of I Know Jax. I'm Joe Talentino. Today I'm not in the studio. Obviously I'm at the beach. I thought it was a perfect place for me to shoot today's episode. Spring is in the air and I had cabin fever, and hopefully I'll be able to spend some time outdoors this weekend. But heck, enough talk. In our first story, I'm visiting Nils at Creme de la Coco in St. Augustine. He's truly an artist, but the cool thing is you can eat his art. I'm hanging out in the kitchen with Nils, and he's going to tell me all about how you got started in this. It was kind of an interesting story.
Yeah. Well, getting into pastry was completely by accident.
Right.
I was talking to my mom. She's like, "We always like cooking. You should go check out some cooking." And so I looked at all the cookies.
Mom gave you a nudge?
Yeah. Mom always gives me a nudge. Don't let her hear this, but she was right about everything.
What are you going to do for us today?
Well, I'm just, I'm on the back side of tempering some chocolate here, and I'm about to pipe some decorations and make them look pretty here real quick. But this you want to do a little bit quick because I'm going to add some crisp pearls onto the decoration so that it'll stick there and give it a little bit of texture and color contrast.
And this is something you'll transfer to something else later?
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be perfect. A lot of times people think everything needs to be perfect, but nothing in nature is perfect, and that's why it all looks good together. And then you just kind of sprinkle them on there as it's setting, and they will stick to it. And it's almost like a mini candy bar. Obviously it's not the same size, but you can do this with nuts, dried fruit, pretty much anything. This would be, this style of stuff would be like a kind of an older school candy. So you temper the chocolate and then just sprinkle dried fruit and nuts in it, and you can do your own combinations and stuff. But
yeah, old school for such a young dude.
Yeah, well, those techniques, there's a reason they've been around.
They've been around forever, right?
The classics will never go out of style. Crispy cereal covered in chocolate on chocolate.
So what are we going to do now?
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to airbrush a little bit of red cocoa butter onto this dessert to give it a nice finished look.
My car needs a coat of paint. You look like you could handle that.
I could probably do that for you. Do it while it's still a little bit cold. Take the candied hazelnuts, put it around the edge.
Oh, you give it a little halo.
Yep, push it on. Move it off. Tap. And then you move it onto the crust. I like crunchy stuff. I'm a junkie for crunchy stuff, so everything has something crunchy in it.
Gotcha.
Just because I think a lot of times desserts can be like really soft and have like a one note type flavor.
Right.
Just because it's all the same texture,
Right.
But as soon as it could be the same dessert, but if you put something crunchy in it, all of a sudden it's completely different.
To another level. So where do you see yourself being in another year to two? I mean, I know you've already been Food Network, doing that whole thing.
Yeah.
That's going to get you a little exposure. That can't hurt, right?
Not should help a little bit.
So we're catching you at the beginning of your meteoric rise, right?
Right. Hopefully.
You saw it here first on I Know Jax.
Just keep doing what I'm doing and really just keep making people happy. I mean, the other thing besides chocolate would be kind of like homey style desserts. So stuff that like reminds you of like mom and grandma and stuff like that. Because it's everybody's favorites. Because the problem with food is you're not competing with whether it tasted better or not. You're competing with that memory that people get when they eat that stuff. So if they're thinking of
hopefully making some nice new ones too.
Exactly. But when somebody tastes something, you're never going to beat the memory of grandma or mom.
Right.
Whether it's better or not, it's just not. But if I can make you think of your grandma or mom, then I did my job.
When you get a chance, make sure to visit Creme de la Coco in St. Augustine. It's located inside of Dose, and they have great coffee to go with it. Now, when you do visit, make sure to let them know that you saw the story right here on iknowjax.com. Next, we're going to take a look at upcoming events.
I'm with Dave from Theory of a Dead Man, and he has an awesome story to tell us. Tell us, man.
All right, our last record that we released was called The Truth Is, and we filmed a video for one of our songs called Low Life right here in Jacksonville, Florida. And it was really crazy how it came about. It just worked out. We had a day off in this town, and everybody flew in, and we ended up filming it in a trailer about a block from a fire department, and the idea was at the end of the video that we would actually blow up the trailer. So we had the fire department all prepared. Everyone knew what was going down. But honestly, from a guy who does not enjoy shooting music videos, it was the funnest shoot.
And stuff up, of course.
We're doing the shot where we're all walking away, arm in arm, and the thing blows up behind me, man. It was hard to try to keep your cool, right? You're supposed to try to look cool.
Be cool, yeah.
It's not easy because that thing, it was so hot.
Yeah.
I felt the flames. Well, anyway, the neighbor's house, all the main floor windows blew out.
Nice.
The thing's turned into
not planned,
the thing turned into a raging inferno, and I literally have the footage of me filming it after, like, the flames started going and going, and so I started filming it, and then I could hear the fire department sirens go, and I turned, and there was I could see the fire truck, the door opened, and it pulled out, sirens came on, and it drove a half a block, and then they started fighting the fire, but it was right here in beautiful Jacksonville, Florida.
Now that's a story.
Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm Christina.
And I'm Andrea from Lacuna Coil.
And you're watching IKnowJax.com.
Check us out and check out our friend Joe Tarantino from Italy. Ciao, Joe.
We're right now doing our planning for the Inside the Players special, coming here on CW17 Monday, May 9th at 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. I'm hosting again, and we're going to be talking about food, drink, and other fun stuff. Our special focuses on the experience of going to the Players. We leave all the serious golf updates to the experts. We focus on fun. Chris has taught me that the whole idea of wine gets better with age is not always true. If I buy a bottle of Boone Farm, it won't taste better in 5 years. I get that, but sometimes it says non-vintage on the label. That's really confusing. Chris is gonna sort all of that out. Today I'm with my buddy Chris Chislett, the wine guy, and he's gonna educate me because I need some education.
Always need some education. Non-vintage, my darling, we're gonna talk about.
That means it doesn't have to do with a particular date.
Exactly. So non-vintage. That's it. Yeah, next week. The only one that we really could have done within this lineup is a champagne. We've got the Alvia Sherry,
right?
And we've got the Dow's Ruby Port. These are both non-vintage.
It has a date on the front.
Yeah, I don't know how those guys are getting away with that, but
that's a marketing ploy.
Yeah, that's really more of a marketing ploy for these guys. They're saying with this one, some of the juice is from 1927,
right?
But yeah, it's kind of a blend of years.
With the port, like they have certain number of years that they can blend together and then say.
Exactly. So it's all a blend. Like, so the idea of non-vintage. So if you ever see like non-vintage champagne, something without a date on it, it'll normally say non-vintage or just NV.
Okay.
It's the idea that we're blending together all different kinds of years. It's the majority of the champagne, for example, on the market is non-vintage.
Right.
They want every single year to taste the same. So if
you said they had some sort of special method of doing that.
Yeah, so I mean, with sherry in particular, they kind of call it, if you can picture, a pyramid stack of barrels, they're putting the new juice in at the top. It's all connected, know, tubes, filters down. You've got the old juice in the bottom. Gotcha. So they're taking it, putting it into the bottle from that bottom run of barrels, and that's that's your blending.
Now
so that's well, in the case of sherry, it's called the Solera system. S-O-L-E-R-A, Solera system.
And they do the same thing with champagne?
Yeah, same idea. So it's the idea with champagne, they want it to taste like that particular house of champagne.
So that's to keep it consistent.
Exactly, yeah. So every single year, you know what you're getting. Now you can get into, vintage champagnes, and they're crazy money. Same thing with port. Is you can get into vintage port.
I looked at this. They have 100-year-old ports.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
What the heck?
You'll pay for it, as well, for sure.
Well, who wants to drink a 100-year-old grape?
Well, no. I mean, you know, read about these bottles being raised from the Titanic.
Not
I
that
want to taste them.
afford $100
Well,
or $100-year-old.
yeah, but you know, why not?
Why not?
I'd like to taste
Okay.
it. But yeah, so that's the idea of, you know, vintage versus non-vintage.
So vintage
you know.
is from that specific year.
Yeah, and when we say, you know, when we say vintage, that's the year that the grapes were picked.
Gotcha.
So that is, you know, if you see a vintage dated bottle, that's the year that those grapes
So
actually
I hear
came from.
2016 is a good year.
A wonderful year for Boone's Farm, actually. Fabulous year.
So what's your favorite Boone Farm flavor?
The blue one.
He doesn't even know the flavor.
I know, the blue one. It's been on my wine rack. 'Cause I swear, every single year for my birthday,
it's the gift,
it's
right?
hilarious
That keeps
to
on
buy
giving.
the wine
Yeah,
guy a bottle of Boone's Farm. It's never been done, but I have at least 5 bottles
I never
of
would have done that to you.
the blue stuff.
Because I like you.
Thank you, I appreciate
And
that.
I never would do that.
Best buddies.
We'll see you guys on the next Wine Guy segment. I actually learned something in this week's wine segment. I'm sorry, Chris, I don't mean to sound surprised. He works really hard trying to teach me about wine, and it's not always easy for him. Chris thinks that I'm a slow learner, but the truth is I just have a hard time focusing. Things like this distract me. I want to be out at the beach, and guess what? After this weekend's parade and celebration, the beach is officially open for the summer. Today I'm at Dahlia's Pour House in Riverside, Avondale with my buddy Mark Wisdom, the beer guy.
I'm the beer guy.
He's the beer guy. And today we're going to talk about, well, guess what? With all this in front of us, what are we going to talk about?
Glassware.
Glassware. So,
Everybody looks at beer and they say, yeah, give it to me in one of these pint glasses, okay? This is called a shaker glass. The shaker glass was actually developed for use to make mixed drinks. You know, you put the metal cup over it,
oh,
you
I just shake it.
you shake it up.
I
and
thought it
everything.
was like shaker of the, no, never mind.
Never mind. Don't worry about that.
Not like shaker
This,
furniture.
not good for beer. I mean, almost every place serves beer in this, but it's just not the best glass for beer. So
Okay.
let's look at something that is. Depending upon the style of beer that you use or you're drinking, it makes a difference in type of glass.
I like this one because it's fancy.
This is a fancy one. Okay, so this one is a German
Stein, right?
Stein. Okay,
Right.
it's got the top on it. Guess what the top's for?
To keep it from overflowing.
No, to keep foreign matter out of the beer.
Oh, to keep people from so you don't get roofied.
No roofies, no flies, no anything like that.
Oh, the flies. Okay, we worry
So
about flies.
when beer,
This is 2000, you know.
yeah, back in the early days of beer, you know, 10,000 years ago, when man was going, beer, good,
beer good. Gotcha.
they used crockery. Okay, crockery, you know, stoneware, that kind of stuff. So the Germans thought, hey, let's put a lid on it and keep the stuff out. Okay,
That's not a
good
bad
thinking,
not
not a bad idea. Then you've got this one right here, which is another
Mug.
German mug. This is a liter.
Okay.
Okay, they call it a seidel.
A seidel.
A seidel, a German seidel. You might also hear the term Mass.
Okay.
It's a mass of beer, which is
A lot of beer.
It's a lot of
A
beer.
mass of beer.
Un Masse beer. No, in the German, it's a liter.
Okay, gotcha.
And what you would normally do is
This looks like a wine glass for
well,
beer.
it is, but normally you would put a lower gravity beer in that.
Okay.
So something like a Helles or something like that.
Okay.
It's only like 3 or 4% beer. You can drink a
Lot of
it.
that beer.
And
So this is a
it's
good
still-
summer mug.
Right. That's a good beer for Oktoberfest. You see the girls carrying the big mugs. That's it.
Okay.
This one right here is perfect for high gravity beers, where you're going to put in a little bit, and it's
Right.
going to form a nice head at the top, and you're going to get a lot of the aroma out of it.
Gotcha.
This one right here, a tulip glass, perfect for the high gravity beers like big IPAs, big stouts, those kinds of things. And what you're going to see with this is, you got the turned in rim on that.
Right.
Again, it concentrates the scent, the smells.
So-
because part of drinking beer is the smell.
So like a brandy snifter, but
it's
for beer.
a brandy snifter for beer.
Okay.
Again, with the Germans, we got a Pilsner glass. The Pilsner glass was made to show off the beautiful pale color of
Gotcha.
the beer and concentrate the head at the top of it.
Gotcha.
So it's all very important. And then this one, of course, the English, the practical people that they are,
Exactly.
they're very practical.
They want a lot of those.
They want a lot of these, but you see the bump on it?
Yeah.
You know why?
So your hand doesn't slide off.
So your hand doesn't slide
Oh,
off.
no, dummy. I
That's
know how that
exactly
works.
why it's there. It's for drinking while you're standing and talking in a pub.
Yeah.
I mean, and the glassware, there's so many different types of glassware. In Belgium, you will never see a beer served in the wrong glass.
So they're very adamant about having the right kind of glass.
Fanatics about it. I mean,
like fanatical
and a lot of
people.
times you'll see that it's served in the proper glassware that's logoed by that particular brewery.
Cool.
So
They got to keep up with a lot of glassware that way.
glassware, yes, they do. The glassware is very important to beer because different glassware is for different beer and gives that beer its proper presentation.
Gotcha. Cool.
It's like wine. It's very good.
So I hope you've learned something new today in this Beer Guy segment. We'll see you guys again on the next Beer Guy segment.
We'll see you later.
That's it for this week's episode of I Know Jax. Remember, we have changed time on Saturdays. We're now airing at 9:30 p.m. on Saturdays and 8:30 p.m. on Sundays. You can also find our episodes online at iknowjax.com. Have a great week. I'll be back again next weekend, but before then, I'll see you on the internet. I hope you enjoyed the video. I would love to hear from you in the comments below. Now, if this is your first time watching an iknowjax.com video, I would love to have you subscribe so that I can continue to help you find fun things to do in the Jacksonville area. Every weekday, I do a daily video update to remind you of the things that are happening this week. Plus, we do features on great restaurants in the River City and a weekly video calendar of events to help you plan for awesome experiences. And last but not least, every week we create a new full-length episode on all the best places to eat local, drink local, and be local. So subscribe, and I'll see you again soon.